Every day, you and I get bombarded with negative news. And just like our bodies becomes what we eat, our minds become the information that we consume. If you want to stay positive, it's so important that you also listen to stories that inspires you and uplifts you. In this podcast, we interview world-leading experts dedicated to solving the world's most pressing problems. And if you stick around, I promise you will not only be as informed as if you watch the news, you will feel uplifted, inspired, and have more positive energy in your life. Welcome to Great.com Talks with. Hi and welcome. Today Great.com talks with Megan Deaton, who is the Deputy Director and a board member of Mom Helping Moms Foundation.org. And if you haven't heard of them before, they are a New Jersey-based baby supply and diaper bank. And if you haven't done so already, you definitely want to press subscribe, because today we're going to explore what are the needs for moms in the US and how are they helping each other. Megan, so nice to have you on. Thank you for taking this time. I was yelling in the mic there. Ooh, take it easy. So how would you describe your organization to someone that might not be familiar with what you do or even the problems you're facing?
Sure. So Moms Helping Moms is a baby supply and diaper bank. We operate very much like a food bank, but for diapers. So diaper need is described as the lack of a sufficient supply of diapers to keep babies dry and safe and healthy. So they say that 1 in 3 households in the United States has to choose between purchasing food or purchasing diapers, which is a huge problem. There's lots of studies that show, how important having a dry diaper is, both on the child themselves and on the caregivers and their stress. So Moms Helping Moms started about 10 years ago. Our founder, Bridget Cutler, had just had a baby. She read an article in a magazine about a woman who had to give her baby up for adoption because she couldn't afford to care for her. She couldn't afford the basic needs. And she wanted a better life for her baby. And that really spoke to Bridget. And she kind of just thought, how can I, make that not happen for another family, another mom? That would be the hardest position. I couldn't imagine being in it. So she started reaching out to friends and neighbors around town where we lived at the time and, asked if they had any diapers or other baby gear to pass on. And she found people in the town that we were in who needed it and just started kind of collecting gear and inviting families to her garage once a month to come pick out whatever they needed for free. At the same time, I had just had twins. I had 6-month-old twins when I met Bridget. And I had a lot of baby stuff laying around because I had 2 babies. And I couldn't find a place to donate it. And at the same time, I found being a new parent to be very overwhelming. Caring for a baby is hard and there's no instruction booklet on how to do it. And it's also expensive. Diapers are expensive. Formula is expensive. The clothing, all the gear. And I literally would lay awake in bed at night and just wonder how I would do this if I didn't have my support system, my husband, my parents, my friends, my family. And it just struck a chord with me, and I wanted to help other families. I wanted to, see what I could do to take that stress off of another mom. And I found Bridget. She reached out to our community to collect stuff, and I had stuff, and she showed up at my door to pick it up, and I offered to help her. And that's how we met. And here I am 10 years later. As we got going, we sort of realized how big the need was. We didn't realize that diaper need was a thing. We didn't know that diaper banks were a thing. We hooked up with a couple of other moms who kind of helped us get it started. And it started just in the town that we were in, and it grew from there. And now we're statewide in New Jersey, and it just keeps growing. Last year we gave out 270,000 diapers. And just this past month, we gave out our 500,000th diaper for this year. So we've already doubled what we did last year. And I don't see that stopping anytime soon because of the pandemic.
Wow. Before researching what you guys do, I never thought of what big of a burden it must be for a parent that is already struggling to make the ends meet. I read on your website that it costs $18 per week, which adds up to $1,000 per year. So I can totally understand how someone might have to make the choice between diapers and food, so that you're willing to take some of that pressure off.
Yep.
I think it's really great. And you mentioned you took stuff from your garage and you donated it to other moms in needs. So how is that working then with the diapers? I can imagine they are harder to recycle. Where are they coming from? Is it from private donors? Is it from a government? How is it working?
Yeah, that's a great question. So it's all from private donors right now. We actually we deal only in disposable diapers. We don't do cloth diapers because a lot of our families don't have the means to clean them. They either don't have washing machines in their houses, they don't have access to a cleaning service. And also, one important point that we've learned through all of this is that in order to send your child to daycare, you often have to have a 2-week supply of disposable diapers. They'll only take disposable. If you don't have that, you can't send your child to daycare. And if you can't send your child to daycare, you cannot go to work and provide for your family. So it's a crazy cycle. So we deal with disposable diapers. We take new diapers, and we also take open packs of diapers and we repackage them. So a lot of times a new parent will open a pack of diapers, they'll use a couple of them, and then the next day their kid has miraculously grown out of them to the next size. And so people find themselves with plenty of loose diapers, open packages of diapers, and instead of throwing them out, we'll take them, we'll repackage them and distribute them to the families.
That's a real useful service. And it seems like both that and reusing the toys is very much in line with being nurturing towards the environment as well.
Yes,
So with the
absolutely.
work that you do then, and you have become statewide in New Jersey, do you see this as a trend that is spreading maybe to other places in the States or maybe even globally?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a definitely an issue all around the world. And one of the things that we've also learned over this is that diapers are not covered, at least in the United States, diapers are not covered by governmental programs. So, you can't take your food stamps and go to the grocery store and buy diapers with them. But also, you shouldn't have to, right? Food stamps are for purchasing food, nutritious food. So that's a big hurdle that everybody comes across. And then in the pandemic, we've seen a huge growth in the need. There's a lot of families that were not in a poverty situation before. A lot of middle class families are finding themselves out of work and suddenly in need. And that's something that we're coming across all across the state of New Jersey. We're also in a couple of networks of diaper banks across the country. And everybody kind of across the board, across the entire United States is finding the same thing. I mean, the distribution numbers of diapers across all the diaper banks is skyrocketing. And we are struggling to keep up with the supply to meet the demand. So our diapers all come from private donors, households, and then people will host community diaper drives for us in churches and schools, in their offices, or their company-wide diaper drives. And then we get some donations from some larger organizations. We work with an organization out in California called Baby to Baby. And a lot of times the Honest Company will donate diapers to us through them. We work with the National Diaper Bank Network here in the United States, and they are founded by Huggies. So sometimes we can get diapers donated from Huggies as well. And diapers are also the only item that we purchase, that we have a budget to purchase. But usually we only have to purchase about 1% of our diapers in a year. This year, because our numbers have doubled so far, that has greatly increased. So we purchase them with donations from private donors and some grant funding.
Right. And what kind of challenges are you seeing except for the expanded need? Is there, I don't know if this is true, but I can imagine it being tricky knowing uh, how to set up a system so the diapers go to the families in need and the system is not being abused, if that makes sense, since
Yeah,
they
no,
are quite expensive.
they are expensive. We do not distribute directly to the families. We distribute through other nonprofit organizations, churches, schools, social service organizations, um, welfare organizations, other different varying social service type organizations. They work directly with the families. And so they kind of vet the families for us, and that gives us the chance to support them in their efforts. Oftentimes they'll provide other services as well. Maybe they're helping a homeless family get back on their feet, or they're providing educational services to them, and the diapers are a part of their program. So in that sense, we also look at as we don't see ourselves as someone's main source of diapers. The studies show that the average family falls short about 19 diapers per month. And we're looking just to supplement. We don't want people to fully depend on us for diapers because we can't meet that need, but we can supplement and help them out in that regard. So, there's a chance that families do get diapers from a couple different sources in a month, but for the most part, we don't see that as being a huge issue.
I see. And if you look ahead then, and if you had a vision for how circumstances could change for moms when they're having babies, what changes would you like to see be implemented in the US?
Well, a lot of states are looking to have sales tax removed on diapers. Diapers are taxed as a luxury item in a lot of places. So it's right up there with cigarettes and alcohol. So there's a lot of advocacy efforts to get that removed. In New Jersey, they're currently not taxed. So that's a good thing, but it doesn't happen like that in all 50 states. And, just other government support would be nice. We've been advocating, or the National Diaper Bank Network is advocating to get some government funding in place to help with diapers and childcare services. And we've been working with them a little bit on that. So I think what we can do right now is to bring awareness to the issue. As you said earlier, not a lot of people are aware that this is even a problem. A lot of people we talk to were like, oh, I didn't even, people don't think that diapers are an issue until you explain it to them, or if they know somebody who is in that situation. So right now, our main goal is to bring awareness to the issue, to get the community and the government to help support the efforts.
I see. And looking beyond the changes for the country as a large, what is the goals for Mom Helping Moms? What would you like to accomplish in the next, let's say, 10 years?
We've really been working to make sure that the entire state of New Jersey, everyone in the state of New Jersey has a resource for diapers. We have grown now that we have a partner in every county in the state of New Jersey, but we're still only making a dent. This year we're on track to give out 600,000 diapers and to 62 organizations around the state to help their families. But that is just a small piece of the diaper need puzzle in our state. And we've been working a little bit with other organizations around the state that also distribute diapers. And what we would like to do is to make sure that everybody has access to a resource like Moms Helping Moms, so that no baby ever does not have access to a dry diaper. I don't ever want a parent or a caregiver to wonder where their next diaper is coming from, because the effects on the parent themselves is too much. It increases their stress, which just increases the stress on the whole family, including the baby.
Yeah, if that could be avoided, it would be, yeah, that would bring me a warm feeling.
It
Now,
seems like such a simple thing,
yeah.
it's a simple thing that is a problem that we see can easily be helped with a little bit of effort.
Yeah. And I appreciate you guys doing the effort to start this movement and create some kind of change. And you mentioned previously awareness. So imagine someone listening to this and said, hey, I wish more people knew about this problem, or maybe even like me, I didn't know so much about this problem. I wish more people knew about this problem. What can they do both to stay informed and up to date, but also, like, from your point of view, what can they do to spread this awareness?
One of the best things that people in the community can do to spread the awareness is to host a diaper drive. If you put a box out in front of the school or the church or, the YMCA, people see the box and they see that you're collecting diapers and wipes and baby hygiene items, and it just kind of puts the little like light on in their head, like, oh, people are collecting that. That's a need. That's something that we can do to help out members of our own community. So it's a very simple way to engage the community and bring the awareness out there.
And I can imagine the positive spin-offs of that community building aspect of taking action in that way. I can imagine that is bringing people together. And with your organization, what can someone do to help you out and to stay up to date with the work that you're doing?
Follow us on social media. We try to post facts. Volunteer with us. That's a huge one. Right now, we have had to postpone our volunteer sessions because of the pandemic, but we're hoping in the new year that will bring people back in. We really rely on volunteers to help us in our warehouse get the donations kind of turned around and back out to the families. Check out our website. We try to keep it updated on facts about diaper need, advocacy in the government, stuff like that.
Beautiful. Megan Deaton, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with Great.com today. It was a pleasure. And for you listening to this, if you enjoyed this conversation and if you would like to spread more awareness about anything from diaper needs to how to help the climate to any other charity causes that we talk about in this podcast, please consider hitting subscribe in your podcast app or on YouTube. That will help us get through the algorithms and reach more people with these kind of messages. I appreciate that you listen to this, and we see you in the next episode.